increasingly urgent push to get more Americans to please do their part to prevent a surge of unnecessary, the word is unnecessary, COVID deaths this fall. President Biden is expected to announce later today that for the first time, all federal workers must get vaccinated or follow very strict protocols. Also, masks will now be required for everybody, including visitors inside federal buildings and COVID hotspots. That lines up with the new CDC guidance advising people to wear masks indoors in high transmission areas, even if you've been vaccinated. Nancy Cordes is at the White House with more on this story. Nancy, good morning to you. Do you think this could have an effect on the private sector as well?
No question, Gayle, that this will set a precedent for states and cities and companies across the country, because what we're talking about here is the entire federal workforce, about 2 million people from coast to coast, plus contractors who would all be required to either show proof of vaccination or submit to regular testing. Now, this would actually be a little less restrictive than the policy that Facebook and Google announced yesterday. Both of those tech giants say all of their employees who come to work in person will have to be vaccinated, period, unless they can't for medical reasons. Now, this all comes on the heels of new guidance from the CDC recommending that even vaccinated people return to wearing masks indoors in the many parts of the country where COVID cases are on the rise. Interestingly, White House officials say that yesterday they saw the highest number of new vaccinations all month, more than 750,000 doses nationwide, a sign perhaps that news of these impending restrictions and fears of the Delta variant are causing at least a few more people, Gayle, to go ahead and get their shots.
Or fears of I don't want to die. Nancy, before you go, can we talk about this major new deal on the infrastructure? So there's been months of negotiations. We're now hearing that $550 billion worth of new spending over 5 years. So what happens next? How is this going to work?
So this brand new deal passed a very major hurdle last night when 2/3 of the Senate, a bipartisan group of senators, voted to begin consideration of the bill. And that is a very good sign. This is a deal between the White House, Democrats, and Republicans in the Senate. It would sink an extra $110 billion into roads, bridges, and other major projects. It would pour about the same amount into rail and public transit, plus billions more for broadband, airports, drinking water, and the electrical grid. A good chunk of this new plan would be paid for with unspent COVID funds and unemployment funds. But this bill is still being written, Gayle. We've got weeks to go before a final vote in the Senate. So still a lot to watch in this view.
Well, we know you're there. Thank you very much, Nancy.